Jeremy. And
Greetings.
today we're just going to talk about a lot of different things, frequencies, sounds, entrepreneurial journeys. We're going to have some giveaways, so y'all make sure you are paying attention.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to start the episode off, like, first, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And then I wanted to say thank you to Creative Visions for shooting this.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
If you guys need a production team, hit them up, all right? The second thing is my hair. My hair is from the Lola Effect. And if you use the code Entrepreneur.ish on her website, you can get 10% off of any of her services. So definitely check that out. We will have all of those links below. All right. So the very first thing that I do on my show is I talk about trends. And since you're the sound guy, I want you to first of all introduce yourself, and then I have like a little bit of a controversial like hip hop question that I want to know about. Introduce yourself. What do you do?
Yeah. My name is Jeremy Dalton. I'm the owner of Soulful Sound Studio in Decatur. I've been in sound my whole life, man. You know what I'm saying? So now to step into sound healing is a whole nother journey, and I'm loving every moment of it, you know.
Yeah.
Being in church playing the drums and bass and all this other stuff, that was sound healing too, you know what I mean? But now getting to learn more like about our schematics in our body is a whole nother vibe.
Oh my gosh, I have so many questions, but the interview part is in the middle, so
Yeah.
we're gonna wait. We're
Okay.
gonna make them wait.
Okay.
So right now, so the biggest thing that I remember about Rolling Loud was Playboy Cardi and Lil Uzi, and people were like walking out of their set because they were like, the sound sounded demonic. Like it sounded like they were possessing the crowd or doing something that, I mean, people weren't willing to be a part of. So is that a true thing? Is there such thing as like devil music? Like, is there a frequency that we should avoid, like a 666 hertz or something like that?
You know, like back in the day, like Rockefeller changed the hertz from 432. So, you know, 432 is like the natural state of birds, is, you know, the water, the rain, like that's the natural state that's the universal tone is 432. And they changed it to 440 to program us through commercials and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, like there are some certain tones, you know, certain vibrations that aren't in a space of your body. Like a lot of us is tapping into our spirituality. So I can only imagine, like I can't listen to certain music. I'm in the gym and I love trap, you know what I'm saying? Trap saved my life. I always say that. But you know, certain tones is kind of like, nah, I can't do it.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
So what does it feel like when you hit that tone? Because I know a lot of us aren't as, you know, sound driven as you are or have any type of knowledge on that. Like, what does it feel like when you're in a tone that's not healing?
You know, it's like it's real low, you know. Hip hop at 808s, like that's for our root chakra, you know what I'm saying? Like I get it, but certain how they change their voice when they're like they mix and master their music, they can change the levels on that too. You know what I'm saying? So like 3 6 Mafia, they used to do certain things in the background of their music.
Remember that?
You know
my parents would not let me listen to them. They were like, "No, if you play it backwards, it's telling you to praise Satan. Like, don't do it." Like, I don't even know if that's real, but like,
so it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like they're just doing it now. So yeah, I feel like anytime it's like really low, it's like nah. Like if it don't even match with my vibration, I'm already turning it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we are 70% water, does that have anything to do with the sounds that we're hearing?
Most definitely. You know how big those speakers are at those concerts? And so it's like, as I say in my sound healing sessions, it's like having our body being like a lake or ocean and skipping a water on that, skipping a rock on that lake or ocean, right? And seeing all those ripple effects, that's what's getting pushed out. You know what I'm saying? Like over the speakers, you know? That's why people like, you know, certain music can make you cry. And certain music can turn you up, and you might hit somebody in the mouth on accident just because you listen to Flocka real quick. You know what I'm saying? I was knucking the bucket in clubs, and like I hit you on accident. My bad. I was
My bad.
You know? Yeah. So like it plays a big part.
Yeah, they talk about his mosh pits too. Like some girl like fainted or something like that happened, and they didn't care about it. Everybody, and you're saying that's like the vibration was just like, look, this is the level we're on.
That's the level.
Wow, I didn't know it could be manipulated so easily.
Yeah, because our body's water. So once they change that 432 to 440, you know, like if you do the 540, that's like joy. That's like the purest, you know. So certain hertz and certain frequencies allow that to happen. Like it's like a gateway, you know. So whenever we are listening to this, whenever everybody rages, you know, that's
like
just
check
what
the
it is.
frequency.
Yeah, you know, that's what it is, you know.
Okay, so what's name 3 artists that you would say hit that joy frequency? So like, what concerts should we be going to? Like where we know we don't have to walk out. If you're not the type of person, you guys can listen to whatever you want to.
Yeah. Like once again, like you know, I love.
There's no judgment here.
Yeah. Like it all depends on where you are in your journey. You know, I listen to a lot of eclectic music, to Indian trap music.
Really? What?
Yeah, I listen to Indian trap music.
Okay, how does that go? Because I feel like trap music to me is very Atlanta. Like it has a very certain sound. It's
hi-hats, 808s.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So they have that in India.
Yeah, they have certain drums that go with that. You know, so it's about producing music, and our culture is all over the world. You know what I mean?
I never thought Indian trap music. Yeah. You have to give me a playlist or something. We have to listen to that together, guys.
Yeah. I listen to Indian trap music sometimes when I want to turn up. If Future too much for me today, I ain't gonna listen to Future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I listen to, like, you know, jazz, or like a lot of jazz. Something that keeps my body at flow, my mind and my spirit in alignment. You know, I want us to always stay in alignment.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with stepping out of it, because that's balance. You know what I mean? So jazz, neo soul, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were talking about a little bit earlier before we even started the show. We were talking about like our journeys and getting older and things like that. Do you think you decided like when you got older, like, hey, I'm gonna start listening to a different tone? Because me personally, I used to go to the club all the time, but now I'm like, I want to go like you said, like a jazz or something like that. Like I start thinking on that type of level. But now I just turned 30 last year, so now I'm like, I don't know. Do you think the frequency, like what we want from the universe, changes as we get older?
Yeah, I feel that way. Once again, I listen to trap. Like, you know, I have a wonderful playlist. You know what I'm saying?
I cannot wait till we ask him these questions, guys.
Yeah. Like, but yeah, I feel like once I started to think differently, the words that people were saying didn't align to me. You know, so if I'm listening to mantras, I feel like I can't be listening to the lower things about riding around with sticks, and you know, I just can't.
You're like, I just got myself to a point.
Yeah. Like the beats are crazy. So like I listen to music. I'm now into, like, I hear sounds a lot. I've always heard sounds a lot. So it's like, that's what I listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you're like, I'm listening to the beat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the hooks are always going to be catchy.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the point.
So yeah, like it's about the music to me. Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm on a TV show. This is still new for me. Let's see. The other thing I want to ask you before we start questions, and this is probably like my first question into the interview portion for real. It's like, how do you get into sound bowls? Because if I hashtag sound bowls, it's old white ladies. Like, it's just straight old white ladies. Like,
yeah, that's real.
How do our people end up being a part of this?
It was called to me. So I've kind of like, I just went with it. Like, it was really called to me. I sunk into the floor my very first sound bath, and I saw like 5 years of my life, and ever since then it was up. It's been up ever since. I ain't looked back. I've only, it wasn't until like 2021, you know, I was only in other rooms, you know, yeah, I was only in other rooms, you know, so I love the community that I'm in now. So yeah, so like, I get it. You type it in, you know.
Yeah.
But and also like it's making room for us, for our culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To getting used to seeing brown, black, and you know, like sound is for everybody. Music brings us all together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why concerts are filled with everyone.
Oh my gosh.
You know.
Thank God the pandemic's over. Concerts was like the worst thing.
Oh man, festivals.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So because I have a lot more questions for you, but before we talk about that, we're gonna talk about our sponsor today. This is Risque Babes, and along with being an adult product, she also has beauty products. So she does everything from like personal pleasure toys to like fashion to like makeup. She is like your lady's best friend. Yeah. So what I have here are lipsticks and a lip kit. We're going to pull them out throughout the show so that you guys can see them, see what they look like. And we're doing a giveaway at the end. I'm going to explain the rules, but you guys have to stay tuned. All right. So, okay. So we talked a little bit earlier about, you said it was called to you. And I kind of want to understand like who you were in the beginning of your journey and then how that flipped, because you were telling me things that I was like, not the man I met who changed my life playing sound bowls and cymbals.
Yeah. So
I want to know.
Yeah, like, okay, so when I first had my sound bath, I was into cannabis, like really heavy. So I was like getting into...
Like all of us.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, for real.
Right. So I was into like CBD and CBG, like learning about all the different cannabinoids in our bodies. But like spirit was like, nah, this ain't it. You know, like this ain't what you like. Nah, like
you're wasting your time.
Yeah, like nah,
like we're gonna redirect.
Yeah. So like whatever, and I went to my I had a sound bath. It was a CBD sound bath.
How does that go? They rub you down in CBD or like they put
topicals,
it in the air or something?
Okay. Topicals. We would have like different flour.
Okay.
Like to try.
Okay.
And like this is when, you know, people didn't even know what CBD
was,
or CBG. You know, I was selling CBG. I wasn't even knowing CBD like that.
Wow.
You know. So yeah, so like the young lady was like, hey, you know, come on in for the sound bath. I'm like, you know, ain't nothing but women in here. Like, and she's like, ain't nobody gonna sell ain't nobody gonna buy no CBD right now. Everybody's in here. It's like, come on, try it out. Like, you need it. And I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? I'll try it. All you do is lay down, do whatever. So I laid down, and she played the gong. And when she played the gong, I was like literally sunk into the floor. Like my whole body was like, I couldn't move.
You had that what's the movie? The Get Out.
Yeah.
You had the sync moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I saw my life, like years of my life, and at the end I saw like waterfall and yoga mats, a mountain, and a stage with lights on it. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I was like, you know,
what does that mean?
like
my future's lit. What does it mean?
Fast forwarding, you know, I got up and I told everybody what I saw, and people were like, yo, like, I didn't see none of this. Like, I want that experience. Like,
how heavy was your CBD?
Right. So, like, the lady was like, oh, no, like, Jeremy, like, I'll talk to you later. And then afterwards, I was like, hey, you know, I want to, like, teach me everything. And she was like, you know what? I will.
Oh,
you know?
Wow.
And she's like, but I want to take you to my teacher. And so she took me to her teacher. And I've been tapped in ever since. And long story shorter, that scene I saw, I met a gentleman. He's a international meditation teacher.
Okay.
He does ukulele songwriting retreats. And he's like, hey, man, you know, I want to be a mentor. So he took me under his wing. And he's like, I want you to come here with me. Okay. And it was at the Bali Spiritual Festival. Okay. And when he held up the flyer of the Bali Spiritual Festival, I immediately started crying. Because that same image, the same world stage
with the stage and the lights and the yoga mat. That was all in the picture.
Plural yoga mats. It was like it was like the wildest thing ever.
Oh my
and
gosh.
that really tapped me like all the way.
I like this.
Yeah. So like I've been doing sound bowls now for like 5 years now, you know.
Wow.
And I play a lot of different instruments, from flutes to, you know, didgeridoos, hand pans. So yeah. And I'm a musician, so it's kind of like I create like symphonies for our soul, you know what I mean? And with different sounds and different tones, and whatever spirit tells me to play, that's what I normally do.
Okay. Yeah. One of his sound bowl things, I have one of those visions too. I was not comfortable. You sounded like you were okay with yours. I was moving the entire time. Yeah. I was not. I was like, I don't know. It's something about it. You get very comfortable and then you have to go meet yourself. And I think that is probably, it can be scary or it could be exciting, depending on how much you know about yourself. So for me, I was a little scared to meet who I really was. But I saw my little vision too. I'm not going to share mine until it actually happens. Y'all are going to see it. Like if it happens the way I think it is, y'all are going to see it. But I was like, okay, so we got to get comfortable with ourselves. Yeah. So what made you, because I know you were saying like you had like a sit down moment. You had a moment where it was just like, okay, my life changed. How'd you change your life? Because I think everybody is like, oh, I want to be a better person. I'm going to do all these mantras and affirmations, and I'm going to buy a sound bowl, and I'm going to be a better person, and I'm healed now. You know, like how do you actually change? Like, or does any of that stuff help?
Yeah, it all helps actually. You know, sitting with yourself is something that a lot of people can't do yet. You know what I'm saying?
It's scary.
Right. You know. So that's what I did a lot. I sat with myself and wanted to. I asked God a lot of questions. I know He'd be tired of me. Like, yo, I don't believe this. Like, I always need confirmation. I always needed confirmation, and I just started leaning towards faith more. My transition was something that, you know, a lot of people have like a lot of deep stories, and my transition really started in, if it wasn't for my therapist, you know, and he taught me about yoga and meditation. Wow. And he's like, you shouldn't be doing the things that you do. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even look like, you don't even look like that guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but you are around these people that, you know, that aren't good for you, you know, that's going to get you hurt, you know? And so, and like he really brought me into my journey. And my ex-girlfriend, she was a yoga teacher, and she studied. She's a teacher of teachers for me, you know. Wow. And she taught me a lot, and that's what got me into, you know, sound healing, you know, knowing the people that she knew, you know, and just sitting with it. I've always been a musician, and it's like just sitting with myself in the instrument. Like, God was like, He said, yo, this is what you need to do. Like, this is you. I've always been ordained a minister of music my whole life. But for me, I'm like, I can't. Like, my grandmother was like, yo, you can't play in a jazz club on Saturday and go to church and be up at 10 o'clock in the morning and do 3 services. Like, you just can't do that, you know? So I just didn't know what that felt or what it looked like.
I call that balance.
Right. And I listen to trap music, so I couldn't I couldn't do all of it. You know, my grandma wasn't playing that. You know what I mean? She wasn't playing that at all. You know, I'm a minister of music. I got to preach. They
used to say jazz was the devil. Like they would not let them anything with an upward beat. Like I remember
any waist movement. Nah.
Yes, I remember in church. Like my I think one of the drummers would start to do like a little bit of like a little extra beat to it, and she used to stand up and be like, "We're not having that in this house." And I used to be like, "Well, we was finally actually paying attention.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's something about sound, and it's something about like that transition. So I know you said you have kids, right?
Yeah.
So how they feel about your transition? Like how did that go? Because I know they were used to dad being one way, and then all of a sudden dad's like peace and love.
Yeah.
And I love you all. Like how did that go?
It's deeper than smoking cannabis and being a hippie in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad that my kids are getting to see it now. So like they get to see like the polarity of life. You know, being
because you
young.
can change. Like you can change whenever you want to.
You can change whenever you
change
want.
whenever you want to.
Yeah, like everything
do not have to be
starts
the
here.
same person.
Yeah. So for my daughter being 18 and my son being like 16, it's kind of like they saw their dad in their younger age. I'm a father first, so I've always been the hooping dad. But I hung around the ratchets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I love
we don't
them.
have a ratchet friend.
Yeah, like, you know, I've always been an affiliate of the ratchets, you know.
I want to make a clothing line on that. Ratchet affiliate.
Yeah, I've always been an affiliate of the ratchets. So it's like, they see that. So now it's like, I feel like that they're more open to the possibility of the thought of changing. It's not just Janae Ayenko, like doing her thing. You know, my dad, you know, he's been doing this for a minute too. And like this changed his whole life.
It's funny you bring her up. She was the reason why I even knew about sound baths, like, or sound bowls or anything like that. I watched one of her documentaries and she was like, I'm creating music. She said it takes her a long time to do albums because she does care about the frequency. She does care about the message, even though it's ratchet sometimes. It's like she has a little balance of both.
And we all need that balance.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the only perfect person is God.
Amen.
And like we can't like, and if we try to overstep that, you know, it's gonna be a hard little road.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you
That's
know.
your daughter. Sorry, cut you off.
Oh yeah, no, you good. So this is good for them to see that now. They into listening to rain when they go to sleep.
Wow.
You know, they're into listening to certain frequencies before they go to sleep, just so they can have good night rest. You know, so they won't have.
Have you seen the difference between them?
Yeah, they ask more like they're open. Before, like, they're still getting used to me. Like, you gotta understand, like 18, so that means my kids saw me transition. I was 33 whenever I tried to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that's a long time of them seeing their father walk around with a stick in his book bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, or having an attitude at people for no reason. You know, and now having that conversation of why their father was upset. You know, they don't teach. I wasn't taught how to express emotion, and because if you express emotion, you're a wimp. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Especially as a man, like the standards for masculinity.
Yeah.
Because I did have a question about that. Like, I was glad that you said that your mentor was a man who brought you into yoga and like therapy and stuff like that. Because I feel like was the masculinity a problem for you in the beginning? Like you said, it was a whole bunch of women in the first classes. This seems like a very feminine topic, and that's why I'm glad I have you here to be like, it's not just feminine.
Nah, like, I get it now. Like, I'm getting more now that a lot of men don't, like, we just ain't been taught that. So to have another gentleman be like, yo, you know, sit down, close your eyes, you know what I'm saying, take a deep breath. Some men, I've done a men's retreat, and it didn't go well. You know what I mean? Because a lot of...
What do you mean? Not really, because I don't do men's retreats. So I have no idea.
The energy wasn't as...
healing?
Yeah, like, nah, like, you know, how much you got paid and this, that, and the other, so forth. It was a whole thing, you know? I mean, like, you do this for a living? Like, a lot of people didn't even... Because this is still new to people. Some people still don't know what sound healing is.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So for me to get flown out to LA, it's kind of like... who are you?
Who are you? Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, or like they don't see black men doing this.
Yeah.
You know? But I've always been told I'm a unicorn because it ain't that big of a deal. Like I'm here to do God's work. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like everything else around that, it ain't my campaign. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I have my own campaign, and that's like, you know, allowing the door to be open so everyone can get the light, you know, because everybody has a light in us. You know, everyone has that. So, somewhere it's been, you know, shaded by, you know, because we come into the world with trauma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's different. I'm not in a lot of rooms where there's men, you know, but everyone respects me because I give everybody love. You got to love yourself before you're able to love anyone. So for me loving myself, I'm able to be in multiple rooms with men, women, any type of LGBTQ community. Like it doesn't, cause I'm here to do the work.
Yeah.
So none of that stuff. Kids, children,
So
like
you're like, the opinions don't even like enter.
Yeah.
You're like I have purpose.
I'm in
I
my
already
own
know
lane.
what I'm doing here.
I've always been in my own lane,
Love
and that's just it. Like, you know, nothing else. There are a lot of new sound healers. They're like playing. I don't really go to like other sound practitioners things. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I was gonna ask you, are there fake people out there where they're like, oh, I'm a healer, and you're like, I've heard your stuff. This is not healing.
No, because then that's a form of judgment. But I know that a lot of people it's a fad. You know, kind of like doing mushrooms. Everybody's now doing mushrooms, but before everybody's scared.
True.
But now everybody, you know, so it's like sound healing. Like, you don't have to do a 400 or 500 hour yoga teacher training. That's commitment.
Yeah.
You know, you can go on Amazon and pick up some bowls.
True.
But the bowls, whenever you play them, and if it doesn't resonate at a certain, if it doesn't resonate, then they're not real bowls. A lot of people don't even know that. They're just out here just buying instruments. Oh, yep, I'm a sound healer. I can do chimes. It's the dissonance within each sound that takes us into certain brainwave states. And that's what people don't know. If you're just picking up bowls and saying that you're a sound healer. You know what I mean? Because what the pandemic did was open up the door for everybody to see what this is about.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
everybody was like on their lives with their bowls and their flowers in it. And there's a lot of that.
There's a whole lot of it, you know, and going through the times of, yo, you know, you're not a Christian. How do you mix God in with playing these Himalayan bowls? Because they come from India, or like they come from Nepal, where they believe in Buddha. Like, you know, like, what are you doing? And certain communities didn't take me well because I was talking about God and doing this work, you know? So yeah, like that's why I really don't go to too many other sound baths, because it's jarring. Boom, boom, boom. It's jarring. I'm jumping. I'm like, I hold the church finger up like,
I'm out. Bye.
Thank you. You know, I gave my donation. You know what I'm saying? I gave my wellness investment. It's time for me to slide.
I love that wellness investment. Like, don't even be mad about it. Because I know, like, for me, when you did yours, I felt like between you and Naima, hi Naima, what's up? You guys both paired very well. So she spoke while you played, and then I love that you walked around with all of us, and it felt very personal, even though it was a class.
Yeah.
And I felt like, I don't know, you guys had this one purpose was for all of us to get better.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, intention is huge. Remember that night you told me that you could do intentions over your flowers.
Yeah.
Like before you roll up. Like, is that real? Like, do I need to speak to my bag? Like, that's a new thing.
Because the bag, 420 event at
plug it. Let them know.
Yeah, like, so for me, it's like everything's about intention. So for the person that's giving you the bag, he's trying to make this dollar real quick. He don't care about, you know, that's why fentanyl is getting put in everything. They really don't care. They're just getting off the back of a truck, somebody's house, driving it here, getting off the back. It's a fourth party investment that you're doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, I'm different, you know. I get medical marijuana, and even then, that is, you know, I know what 2-3 people touching it, from the grower to UPS and UPS to me, you know. So even that, I do set my intentions before every journey, you know, journey being partaking in cannabis. You know, I really clear space and have my own personal intentions, because you don't know the other person's intention, even though that they are doctors. Yeah, they're just scientists.
Yeah, you know, they're like same. It's kind of the same thing. I'm just trying to get this money.
Yeah,
it really is. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, so everything's about intention. So whenever you set the intention to be uplifted throughout this journey, you know, that's what happens. you know.
So what's your mantra over your stuff? Because I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, what do I do before? Do I get my sage out? Like what do you need to do?
Yeah, I do sage or Palo Santo, or if I don't have none of that around, you know, it's kind of like we pray over our food, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I pray over this meditation.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It all depends on what it is. I kind of, you know, I don't rely on cannabis anymore. I do it because it's, you know, some days I'll go to the gym, my muscles are a little sore. I know that we have different cannabinoid receptors in our body that fire off every time we smoke. You know what I'm saying? That's why it takes 30 days for it to leave our body, because it's supposed to be inside of our bodies. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, I don't rely on that, because everything, you can make anything a crutch. So
True.
I'm stressed out, let me go get a joint. I just do it like sipping wine for me. That's my dessert. You know, I don't rely on it. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like our culture is too reliant? Because what I've seen a lot, people are switching to mushrooms from like perks and stuff like that. So they feel like it's natural, and like we got to talk about this because it's our culture. These are our people.
Yeah.
So like, what is like a healthy way to try these things, or if they want to do it, like what would you suggest?
Well, mushrooms and stuff, you gotta be in a safe space.
We're not saying anything, but if you're going to,
yeah. Like if you're going to, like, you know, it's the same thing. You know, just know about the strain. Everybody's, you know, on PE and Golden Teacher and Blue Meanie. You know, there's like over 180 different psilocybins out here in the world. You know, so you're just getting something from somebody. If they don't know, if they're not a medicine man or medicine woman, shout out to my medicine woman.
What's up?
If they're not a medicine man or medicine woman, then it's kind of like, what you doing, bro? You know,
how can you tell? You just ask, what is this? And if they don't have an answer, that's when you're like, all right, next we're going to somebody else.
You know, you can tell who's energetically into that space. You know, my medicine woman, she's very knowledgeable, and my medicine man, he's very knowledgeable, who put me on to understanding and knowing the plant in different strains. Taking the hero's dose, you know, like I'm 38, so I my very first time taking mushrooms, I was what, 8th grade?
Wow.
8th grade, you know. So it's like that's how I really started hearing and seeing, you know, and I'm colorblind. So I saw all these things.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so all these, that's why I realized how to go with everything, you know what I'm saying?
He's like, there's color in this.
Yeah,
I know.
Hey, so one of these things will match. You know, but yeah, so like that's kind of how it works. You know, you gotta get with the right people, create your tribe. You know, everybody ain't wanting the best for you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not wanting the best for you. So it's like, if you're getting this from the dude who's just trying to get this pack off, then I mean,
can you sage the psilocybin? Does that work?
Yeah, like
reset the intentions.
Yo, anytime I ever hold a ceremony, like I'm in ritual for like 3 days.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in ritual with the plant for like 3 days. You know, my shaman, he's really, he taught me a lot about that. And so, and even my medicine woman, once again, you know, they taught me a lot about when to and what times to, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Who do we go to for this? Because you said medicine woman, you got shamans, like you got all these, like, where do we find these people? Like, if we want to do it safely, because I've heard a lot of people do want to take a journey, but they're, like you said, I don't want to just go out on the street and be like, who got mushrooms? Like, I don't think that's going to go well for me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people doing that. I like, one of my homegirls was like, a guy was like, hey, you trying to trip tonight? Like, trying to do some mushrooms? And I'm like, that's not a date.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody taking mushrooms. This is a 6-hour journey. You know what I'm saying?
Stuff to do.
Right. Be up all night. Like, what are you doing? But, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, you never know. But, you know, yeah, like, you just gotta know the right people. I'm gonna leave it there. You gotta know the right people, man.
So go to the people who do stuff like that.
Yeah, like a lot of holistic, especially, like, you know, with me being a male, I don't know too many males. Like, my shaman is like the only male figure that I have here in Atlanta. You know what I mean?
How'd you meet him? Let's talk about that then.
I prayed for him.
Wow.
During after my mentor, he left. He moved to Medellin, Colombia, like traveling the world, and I just asked my grandmother, like, you know, my grandmother is one of my guardian angels, and I was like, yo, I need a spiritual guide on earth. Like, I need help, like, cause like I said, for a year I didn't, you know, cleanliness and next to godliness. I really didn't. I wasn't giving hugs. Wow. I wasn't doing none of that. And Dr. Sounds, he gave me some psilocybin. He gave me an ounce of psilocybin and was like,
now,
like, you need to microdose these. You know what I'm saying? 1 on, 2 off, and I'll come back in a month and, you know, tap into your heart space, brother. Tap into your heart space. And he gave me a hug. This white man gave me a hug. I didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he turned out to be like my brother. Like I said, I was in those spaces. I was in the white community. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know nobody here in Atlanta. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And it does feel like counterculture. Like, it feels like it's not for us sometimes. Yeah. Like,
see, that's the thing.
How do you like bridge that? Like,
being with elders, like my shaman, he's an older gentleman, you know what I'm saying? And my medicine woman, like, she was around older, you know what I mean? In the holistic space. And like, that's how it is, man. Like, being with people who know about the plant and who knows about spirit, that's the deep thing. Really, you know what I'm saying? Because the mother, you know, like, ayahuasca is the mom, and psilocybins is like, you know, the cousin, like the very first cousin. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that means that it's coming from the woman. You know what I mean? It's coming from Mother Earth. And whenever, like, for me, I got with a gentleman who got everything from a woman. You know, everything goes back to women, man. That's why, like, I'm so respective. I have so much respect because it takes a lot to raise children, to have children, just as well as Mother Earth always holding us up. You know what I'm saying? True. You know, even with
dealing
the rain,
with all our problems, all of our pollution, all of our.
And she's the first one that we need to go to whenever we are stressed. We gotta take a walk outside. You know, that oxygen that we need is outside. Hugging a tree, that's what tree huggers really do. You know what I'm saying?
I said I was gonna do that. I was like, let's go hug a tree.
Yeah.
After talking to y'all, I was like, oh, I never tried that.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. So yeah, man, you know, just knowing the right people in the holistic spaces.
All right. So do I just go look up holistic people, or like where?
I'll plug you. I got you.
Okay.
I'll plug you.
All right. If y'all know me personally, I'll let you know.
I'll plug
we
you.
won't put them on.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool. Okay. So your network has been like your life-changing thing. That's what it really sounds like. It's like every time you pray for somebody, you got an addition to your network.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who are starting a business about network? Because I'm sure they helped you get jobs. I'm sure they helped you find clients. Like, I'm sure like all of that kind of happened. Like, kind of explain what network is, because I think a lot of kids now, they network online and they don't find that personal thing. Like, help them out.
Just know your vision and like be authentic to yourself. Like, that's the thing. I was always told that, like, I'm a unicorn because I go in any room. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know what I wanted. I just know me. You know. And I know what I just know me, man. And like, that's the thing. Like, you gotta own who you are as a person and be comfortable in you, in yourself. You know, like
that took me 2 years. So I'm gonna let y'all know that it's not an early and fast journey.
Oh yeah. I'm still learning every day. You know,
like, well, there's something new about you. Just accept it.
Yeah.
Change if you want to, but
like, that's just it. Like, learn more about you and tap into you more. Spend more time with you. So then, whenever you are, you know, networking, they're like, I like him out of everybody, or I like her out of everybody, because they speak. They come with a glow. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just it. Like, so the more I tap into me, that allows my energy to be like to glow, to resonate. You know what I'm saying? With other people. Like, that's just That's really it.
Okay.
I was always told I was a unicorn.
That's cool.
Yeah, starting this journey, I was, oh, you're a unicorn. I'm like, what does that mean? No, but yeah.
You're like, I'm special?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
I had a vision where I was like a winged horse. That was
Winged horse?
A winged horse, like a Pegasus or whatever. I was black with curly hair, and it was me with these big old wings. Like that was one of my biggest visions that I remember. That was my first one, and that was straight like. I had a healer. She called herself a healer, and she's in Germany. And she spoke to me over the phone for 90 minutes, and she did this like walkthrough meditation where she asked me to like go into myself. That was the first time I met myself. I was freaking out. I cried the whole way down, the whole way down into me. I cried the whole way. And then every time I get there, I love who I see. It's always the journey down that I'd be like, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, like you gotta go in order to go out.
How could I possibly make that like a little easier for me? This is a personal question. Y'all can ask questions on your show, okay? This is mine.
Becoming one with that, that little child, that's the first step, because that's what shadow work is. Because somewhere that voice that you have, that roommate that you have in your head, it plays really loud. And sometimes, as for like men, like we hear that voice, and whenever we hit puberty, our voices change, right? But that voice in our head don't.
Wow.
Well, for some gentlemen, you know what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
But for the community that I've been in, and for the gentlemen that I work with, they've asked me that question. Like,
do you hear a little you in the back of your head? Wow.
And so for like now, with me surrendering to that little me, like, surrendering, like, talking to him, like, yo, man, I get it, bro. Like, I get why you've been, saving me this long. But now, like,
Okay.
shit, I ain't 13-year-old.
Yeah. That's what I learned in there. She was like, how old do you see yourself? I was like, I think I'm 14. She was like, why are you still 14? Aren't you 30? I was like, I am 30. Let me act 30.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing? Okay. So right now we're gonna pause for the interview, and we're gonna go into something a little bit more fun and play a game. But before we do that, I wanted to give my Bosties shout out. So hey Bosties, that's my catchphrase. And our Bosties shout out today is Crystal from Tropical Bath Body, and she's going to be on the show at 6 p.m. We're trying to get here by 5, but we'll see. And she is amazing. She makes her own soaps from all natural products with her daughter. It's very, very cute. I just think that this is something that we need to share with our younger generation, our entrepreneurial journeys. They watch us do it so that it's easy for them. I'm trying to have it for my future kids to be like, oh, mommy, I've been had a job. Like, I've been had, like, my online store. Like, why didn't you know about it? Like, that scene from Black-ish where she, like, flipped her doll or something like that and was talking to her mom about, I just bought a house in Malibu or something like that, or I went in with my friends. I was like, yeah, I want that type of kid. I want you to be like, I have no idea what you used to go through. Like, zero clue. But yeah, so that's the Bosty shout out. And we're gonna start the game. So I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, and you're gonna tell me whether or not it is a real or if it's a myth. Okay. And it's all around sound, so you should know what it is. Okay, sound baths can only be taking place in person.
Oh yeah, that's a myth.
That's a myth. Yeah. Okay, so I can't go on YouTube. I could type in my sound bath and get a similar experience. Okay.
But it's different in person. Like,
okay. So what's the difference between in person and
you really get to feel the vibrations. That's a big difference. Like, when people hear them on their headphones or whatever, or their Bluetooth speakers, sometimes it's a delay. And everything, like, so whenever you're hearing it from something else, that's taking away from, like, the quality of sound. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So being in person, it's, like, always lit. It's always
so you're like, all right, do that in between and then come see me.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. Just silence has no frequency is the other one. Was that true or a myth?
That's a good question.
Because that comes from, I saw this thing that there's a sound room where people have never lasted more than 45 minutes because they get rid of all the sound. And it's supposed to be like the most quiet place in the world. And I've heard about all these sensory deprivation things, cool. Stuff like that. Really? Okay, I've never done that. I've been afraid of the silence thing. Yeah, so I'm like, does silence have a frequency? Like it must, right? Like if it's taken away, then we freak out.
Yeah, I feel like with the universal sound, like I said, the universal sound is 432. So like that's a constant. It's a constant flow. You know what I'm saying? And even in the deprivation tanks, like, yeah, it's quiet, but you know. Yeah.
It's like it's some room, and I forget what country it's in, but like you can go in there and it's complete no sound. Like,
they have a lot of different rooms where it's like all black with no sounds, and like you can't hear. You know, I'm like you're just in a room, and they like slide you things through the door. It's dark. What? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, so is that the time you take mushrooms, or do you go do that sober?
I mean, I have I have. Everybody's journey is different. I know some friends of mine out in New York, they put eye mask on and they just go. Wow. They have a 4-hour playlist and they just go.
Wow.
You know, like they just go on a journey, like, and everybody's in the room, couch, like, you know, pillows and everything, chilling, but they got their, you know,
mask on and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like that's true though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Sound has a frequency.
Yeah.
And then I saw something that said sound is actually a medicine. Is that true?
Yeah.
How have you healed people? Like, I know people say they heal people all the time, but like, how do you feel like you've healed people with this?
I'm not gonna tear up about this, but I get the privilege every other Monday to go to the National Cancer Society. And I do sound baths for cancer patients.
Really?
As we both said, like our body's water. So these cells in our body are getting damaged every day, like through too much like vibrations and things of that nature, and causing these imbalances in our body. And sound does heal and repair these things.
Wow.
Yeah, with our bodies being water, of course. So.
Wow.
So yeah, like that's how they're getting poked all day throughout the day, and by the time they get to me, they're like, "Yo, like I can't wait till next Monday. Like, can I take you home with me?" You know what I'm saying? Like, how can this work? It's different from being online.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, you know, we all have the ability to heal people. So I really don't, you know, like to say sound healer because we all have that ability if we tap in, you know. But, you know, yeah, sound does,
it's really a medicine.
help. Yeah, it is a medicine. Wow. You know, you got to think about it. Like if you hear a certain song, you may think about your old boyfriend and start crying real quick.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So that's a mental thing as well. So everything is like through our mental awareness, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So like that's deeper than just our bodies.
Oh,
yeah.
I know they love it there. Like that's so huge. My mom has MS, so we went to the Shepherd Center a lot, and they would have like sound moments, but it would be more like the radio playing. I'd never thought about having somebody come there, so
yeah,
I'm gonna talk to them about that.
Like my brother had COVID, and he was in a coma for like 4 months, wow. And that's kind of what did it. He'd wake up spazzing, pulling everything out. You know, he's on ventilators and everything. Like I said, he was in a coma, and like my people from all over, like, you know, they were calling me like, "Yo, give him some of your music, or like, tell him about some hurts or something." Like, and I was like, "Oh snap!" Because all he hears is beep all day, right?
Yes.
So they started playing like certain frequencies, like water and things of that nature, and it wasn't a month. Like maybe 3 weeks, he like opened his eyes, and like his brain, like he remembers everything. Like he didn't lose no memory. And mind you, he was on a vent for 4 months, like in a coma for 4 months. Wow. And it wasn't until like the last month it hit all of us. My folks were like, "Yo, sound." Yeah. They were like, "Man," like my people from Saudi Arabia, they were like, "Yo, bro, like tell him about that." And I was like, "Oh snap." So I started texting his wife all these YouTube videos, you know, and so I know sound is very powerful.
Wow.
Sound is very powerful. You gotta think, whenever we are in our mom's wombs, we hear that her voice echoing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that sound vibration is very impactful in our lives. So,
yeah, I remember you telling me, I asked you, I said my friend had just found out that she was pregnant. She wanted to use her sound bowl. And you were like, no, wait a minute. She needs to wait. So if you are pregnant, when should you start using your sound bowl?
After your first trimester.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said it's the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just,
yeah.
Kid's not ready for it yet.
Not
right?
ready for it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all be careful with your fancy sound bowls that you got from Amazon.
Yeah.
Right?
Make sure they play too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming to an end, but I have to ask you, what is one habit that you have to keep that helps you with your business, that helps you stay,
Pray.
stay you?
I talk to God every day, and
Wow.
that's like the key component to everything that has ever, like, all of the things that are coming up. You guys are gonna see me a lot more soon. A lot of things that are coming up, I never thought, like, I always thought I would be in rooms. I thought I'd just be a producer. Like, it's like, this ain't no new thing. I got yearbooks. Jeremy, like, you're going to be like a Manny Fresh or something. You know what I mean? And I didn't, after I stopped, I didn't do all the stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now with me praying and asking God for guidance and allowing him to, like, work through me so I can be the actual vessel, and the more and more I do that, he just opens all these doors and another door and another door. So I you ain't got to believe in Jesus Christ, but you believe in something higher than ourselves. Because if you don't, then you're just here living, man.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Okay, so where can people find you? What do you have coming up? This is your time to promote yourself.
Find me at Soulful Sound Studio
on
Instagram. I'm in Decatur. I do have a sound bowl shop, so if you're looking for high quality instruments, please come.
Handmade drums.
Yeah. I have handmade drums, flutes, and everything is. I know these people, even down to my crystal bowls. Everything is only thing that's manufactured is my crystal bowls. But anyway, you can find me on there. You can find me at Soulful Sound Studio, and I have so many different events going on. So, like, if you're on Instagram, just
you don't post that much. You need to tell us what you do. I'm trying to stalk him.
Right. Yeah. I have different events coming up every Wednesday, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. I have classes. My evening classes are lit. They're all candlelit. They're very intimate. And my Saturday morning classes are at 11 a.m. I will be on. I have a holistic fair. I have a holistic fair coming up on the 22nd on Earth Day. So we have a lot of different events there. And I will be on a TV show coming up here soon. So check that out. It will be on WeTV. So I get to.
We got real guests, y'all.
Yeah. I'll be facilitating a sound bath and utilizing Reiki. So it's a very impactful episodes, and I'm just grateful for all of the opportunities. So thank you for having me.
Then you get an opportunity.
Yeah, big opportunity. Yo, man, shout out to God, man. Real life.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jeremy, for showing us. We appreciate it. Shout out to Live Hip Hop Daily for having me.
Yeah.
This is so cool. I enjoy being live. Like, this is the biggest thing in my life right now. Yeah. And shout out to Creative Visions again for producing and for the giveaway. So you guys can win a lip kit. Yes. If you go to my very last post and follow and comment done after you have followed Risque Babes. And that's it. Thank you guys. You're gonna love these. It's a lipstick. Let me pull it out. Let me see if I can. Can you help me?
Got you.
Nails. This is what you do when you're a lady. You ask. So yes, it is the lipstick and the matching lip liner. So these are very cute. All her colors are very vibrant, This is a Black-owned company, and everything's vegan. She's very intentional about where she gets things. So yeah, so you guys look into it. All right, thank you guys for watching. It's been Entrepreneurs. I'm Ellie. This is Jeremy, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye. Yay!
Yay.
Oh man, that was